Right, the long-awaited Anthropic new model has just dropped with Claude 3.7. So what the heck does that mean to you? Well, I'm going to break it down for you and tell you exactly what it's good for, what it's not good for, and what the implications are going to be. So please stick around. So starting off, the Claude 3.7 Sonnet is a newer type of model for the Anthropic model family in that it is a thinking model. As we've become accustomed to with DeepSeek's R1, a lot of the models are starting to incorporate thinking into their process, which is giving better outputs for tasks that require maybe a little bit more thinking. Less so just give me an email summarized back, and more so iterate on possibilities and understand more in depth on what the user is asking for. So 3.7 is a hybrid model in that you can select and tell it how much you want it to reason, which is really cool. So on the AI development side, on the coding with AI side, Claude has been a clear winner and a clear favorite for everybody. And that was a Claude 3.5. Now Claude 3.7, even better. So it's amazing. So the release today is really two things. First of all, it's the new model, which I'll show you in just a second. And then it's also this research preview of Claude Code. So they've got these kind of research previews where they'll let you use a tool that they've been using maybe internally or maybe just a different way of thinking about things. So they were kind of the first to come out with a tool called computer use a few months ago, where what it was doing was taking screenshots of your screen and allowing that to be interpreted by the large language model. And they would allow the large language model access to your keyboard and your mouse, and it could click on the screen and achieve whatever you were trying to achieve. Now, ChatGPT went ahead and did the same thing with Operator, and they souped it up a little bit, but Claude was actually first to market with that. So Claude Code might be an exciting co-companion to your coding experience that ChatGPT might end up releasing soon. Hopefully, the OpenAI team takes some notes here. So this is what it looks like, the research preview. It's going to be accessed through your terminal. I'll show you what that looks like. If you want to go through and actually install it, I'll be making a more in-depth video on that, but we'll keep it high level here. So you can actually budget your usage of thinking. That's a really revolutionary concept because it's been a black box right now about how much token usage you're actually using whenever you're talking to a thinking model. So this is actually letting you set a budget, which is pretty cool. Now, the things that people care about, as I mentioned, Claude is a software engineering focused, a coding, a math focused model, and it's performed really well on that. It says for Claude 3.5, it was a 49% accuracy on the software engineer benchmark. That was a little bit ahead of O1 from ChatGPT and OpenAI team, and a little bit below the O3 Mini or the DeepSeek. Now, anecdotally, the Claude 3.5 Sonnet has been a more consistent developer experience for people, so they're likely going to continue to win out in the developer market for usage of their models. Now, Claude 3.7, if it mirrors that at all, from what I've been able to play with right now, it is consistent, just like 3.5, just smarter. It's going to end up, being the gold standard again. And it is coming in at the same price point. I just love competition in the marketplace that this is happening. So it scores a 62.3% and 70% if you end up doing some kind of custom scaffolding, which might be an add-on to what they're doing. So giving it some kind of tool usage. Then you've got the agent tool use here, and it knows when to call in tools and when not to call in tools. But this is the one that people are getting more used to, and that is the graduate level reasoning. That lets you know, at a graduate level how it's scoring against other models. And O1 has been the smartest model. The O1 Pro, I'm curious where that is here. But Grok 3, interestingly enough, I'm going to do a video on Grok 3, but that's Elon Musk's XAI company, and they're coming in pretty strong. That was a strong competitor that they released. So I'll be doing a more in-depth dive on their Grok 3 experience. And then we've got the Claude Code, which is a little video showing you how to work with the code base. And then this last little bit before I hop over to just chatting with Claude 3.7, you've got this roadmap where Claude assists in 2024, you're asking it questions, it's helping you. Claude collaborates in 2025, where it's actually doing the development work for you, and you're being more of a supervisor. And then we have Claude Pioneers. So Claude Pioneers is 2027, that's 2 years from now, hard to believe that, where they're expecting Claude to help us break through challenging problems that were not able to be solved before. So really actually pushing the frontier of human knowledge versus replicating it. So that's and then you've got our footnotes down here. So let's go ahead and move over to Claude here. And in your Claude interface, if you're a Pro Plan user, you'll have this new little drop down where you can move from the 3.5 Haiku to a 3.7 Sonnet. And then you can choose between normal and extended thinking mode. So how much token usage do you want to use? How much brain power do you want to use? And let's go ahead and ask it to make us a website, just to show you how good it is at coding. Can you please make me an HTML and JavaScript website that is a calculator for loan amortization? Okay, so we're back. It was generating for almost a minute there, and this is all in one shot. So just asked it, can you make me a calculator for loan amortization? It thought for a little bit. You can read its thought pattern, which is pretty cool. And it iterated. It's like, okay, well, basically kind of orchestrated itself. You know, what the heck is loan amortization? All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Boom, got it. This is a full loan amortization interactive calculator now. So this was a single shot, only one iteration, one prompt was given to this. And if I wanted to, I could go into the code here and grab this and pull it into a web page if I wanted to. Now, I don't want to do that right now. But that's exactly what you can do with Claude. I'm going to go ahead and pause here and make the rest of the video. If you want to go see on YouTube, you can see me using the Claude code. Okay, so if you're a part of the YouTube group here, then you're getting the second part where you're going to be seeing the Claude code. So Claude Code is installed. If you go to their docs here, it is installed using an NPM, which is nice and convenient. So you have to have Node Package Manager installed. That's what NPM is. And you're going to go into your terminal. You're going to type this in. Then you're going to go to the directory of your project, which you'll have to navigate in the terminal, which if you remember, ls tells you what's in the current folder. And then you're going to use cd or change directory into the folders that you want to be a part of. And then when you get to the one that you want to be a part of, that you want it to have visibility on, you'll hit Run Claude. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like because I'm where I want to be. If I type Claude in, especially if it's your first time, it's going to ask you to go log in. Turn that off here. It's going to ask you to go log into your Anthropic, and you might need a Anthropic API account. I believe you do. I already had one set up, so it didn't make me prompt to go set one up. But really what this means is, are you okay with variable costs? So you're used to a $20 a month Claude subscription. Well, this is going to be including a usage-based pricing for you. So once you get here and you launch it, you're going to actually be able to chat with it like a normal interface, and it's going to have access to your code base. So this is what my code base looks like right now. And I'm going to go ahead and see what it is that I want it to help me with. So let's go ahead and look what our local host, I've got npm run on. Oh, that's not going to work. Here we go. So this is my main page for my website. I do want to revamp this really soon because there's a large amount of interest in the AI and agentic workflows that I'm creating. So I'm pivoting versus just sales integration and AI knowledge bases. We're kind of past that now to where I'm building full stack AI employees for people and then still doing the AI roadmaps. So both of those things are needed and we need to revamp that. So I want to actually use this Claude Code tool to help me revamp my front, my main page, the root page, to have an agentic feel to it. Can you please redesign the homepage of the website to include 2 service types, one of which is the AI roadmaps, and the second is creating AI employees for companies. That will be in sales, marketing, and customer service. So it's going to go ahead and start thinking here, and it's going to ask me, just like Cursor, if you're familiar at all with the Cursor Composer, where it's going to be the agent here, it's going to ask me to execute commands that it generates. So it'll generate a whole homepage for me, and it'll say, okay, here's my preview. You want to go ahead and hit accept? Okay, got it. You can also run this in what Cursor calls YOLO mode, where it'll just make the changes. It's not even gonna ask you. So let's see, you want me to make that change? Sure, let's do that. Let's see what you broke, because I'm sure it's gonna break. Let's go ahead and do a little reload here. Doesn't look like anything broke yet. Oh, look at that, it's making the changes here. Look at that, explore AI employees. How cool is that? Let's see, is that mobile optimized? There's a tablet error there. You can see it kind of wraps. Don't like that 100%. Always make sure you make stuff for mobile. That is the future. And maybe even make stuff for VR. That's like really the future. All right. But you see, that's kind of how you interact with it. And it's really, so far, I haven't had enough time to play with it. This just came out today. So understanding how this competes with just a Cursor Composer and where it sits within my development ecosystem is unknown right now. But just wanted to show you what it looks like to interact with that and get that into your hands. So a little recap, you're gonna go through npm install, get it running, make sure you have your API account up and running, and it's gonna go ahead and bill you at the end of your session. So this right here was a session that we had. There are ways to clear your chat history and different things that I didn't go over in the docs here. But when you're finished with your session, you go ahead, Control-C, just like most any terminal. You break the session, and it's gonna tell me that it ran for 20 cents. So I'm 20 cents lighter at the end of this little session here. So was it worth it? That might have been a pretty expensive software development task, so definitely so. I'm used to spending 20 bucks a month on, or 40 bucks a month on Cursor, and spending a lot on other API calls, so this was not unreasonable. But I'll go ahead and report back whenever there is more development in how I'm using this for my workflows. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, drop a like, or a comment. Thank you.